All right, you're looking live at Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks, and I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what. So I'm joined with my dad, my co-host, Cowboy Joe, and today, Eberflus is out. He got let go this morning, and it's a couple more things we're gonna talk about today. So what I'm gonna do is, you want to say what's up to everybody,
What's up, everybody?
and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play our intro, and then when we come back, we can just rock out. Generation Cowboys and Sports Talk. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am the Father.
Just to get the Cowboys two good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, and another thing we gotta do is we gotta just do like every show. What we could do is we gotta have a crazy fan update. We gotta see what's the most craziest thing you've heard a Cowboy fan say today. And we gotta do that
So
every day because
I
that.
already, I already got one for that.
So what's your crazy? We can do it at the beginning of every show. So what's your crazy fan update? What did you hear today that was just absolutely absurd?
So did I sound okay?
Yeah,
Craziest thing I just heard is some people are saying we should fire Shadi and hire John Harbaugh.
that's not crazy.
I figured you was gonna say that.
Why? So how is that crazy?
It's crazy from the standpoint of Shadi. He just got the job. So well, let's say this: the crazy part is there is no chance it happens. That's part of being the crazy, and the other part is me myself. I like Jim way better than John. I'm not sure that John, his personality will be good for our team right now. Shotty has a little bit more, fire and a little bit more, kind of rah rah guy. I think we need we need one or two things. We talked about it before. We need a rah rah guy like Jimmy Johnson that can get everybody motivated. We also need a coach that has a good scheme, like Jimmy had good schemes the whole time, but he had his North Turner. Um, so we got to have one or the other, and you can't go 0 for 0. So we got one thing. Our defensive coach, he has to be a coach that either it's a rah rah guy or a good scheme. So I got a couple of guys that I really want to look at for the defensive coordinator job, but yeah, that's what. So what's the craziest thing you heard today?
I heard Moose Johnson say that we should keep Eberflus.
Oh yeah, that come on. I
That was
mean,
pretty crazy.
no way.
Yeah, he was talking that, and as he was saying that this morning on the fan, as soon as while he was talking, while he was giving his interview that this morning on the fan around 8:05, while he was giving his interview, Eberflus got fired during his interview.
So yeah, it was kind of weird. So I had my doctor's appointment, and then when I came out, I just kind of glanced at my phone, and
Yeah,
well, no, I think I was on the 105.3 the fan, and I heard it. But yeah, so it's uh give Jerry credit. Well, we really should give credit to Shotty because I'm sure Shotty went in and told them we're not doing anything in 10 to 12 days. We need to go ahead and get this going now. So, give them credit for
yeah,
not waiting 10 to 12 days because some of the guys they want to look at, they may not be around.
yeah, yeah. That's accurate. Some of the guys they want to look at, they might not be around. I mean, that's just that simple. Brian Flores, and the we were talking about this last night. I shout out to Chill because he hit it on the nail. Clarence Hill said, "No, this is not going to take no 10 to 12 days. This will be done in the next day or so," and he was right. We woke
Yeah.
up the next day and it was done. So, also, so what I'll say is, the other thing that I've been saying is, you know, K Rock asked me today, what do we need to do as far as to rebuild this team, and do I think that
Mhm.
it will be done? And so, we have to get. There's a few things we need to do. We have to get a Pro Bowl cornerback. However that may be. We have to get a real middle linebacker. We have to get a a Pro Bowl edge rusher. like Max Crosby, and then we have to draft another edge rusher in a draft, and then we also have to address safety, and all of those things are feasible. And in order to get these things done, because I am on the train of, the defensive coordinator is a big deal, but Brian Broaddus asked everybody today on G Bag, would you rather have a $15 million quarterback? Would you? I mean, a $15 million coach, defensive coordinator, or would you rather have a $15 million edge rusher? And my answer was I would rather have the player, than to have a $15 million defensive coordinator, because let's just say you get a great defensive coordinator and they come and fix the defense. Well, they're going to be gone a year after that because they're going to get a head coaching job. Anybody that can come in here and fix our defense in 1 year going to get a head coaching job. So that's that. And then also, it's just like a player like Micah Parsons. Like, you get a player like that, I don't care what anybody says. If we had Micah Parsons on this team with the same scheme, we're in the playoffs right now. We'd probably be like the number 3 or 4 seed, just because, just off of him alone. It's so many games that we were one play away from winning, that Micah does that. The Green Bay game, we would have won that game because he ended it for them. We would have won that game. Plus the NFL, they really ran out of seconds in that game. We should have won that game. It should have been a second left. The Philadelphia game, the first Philadelphia game, Jalen Hurts scampering all over the place like that. Half of those plays wouldn't have even happened. Michael would have been hawking him down. So we probably would have won that game because we barely lost that game. Then the Arizona game, the way that this guy, this brand new quarterback, I even forget his name, the quarterback that they had, and all of that, that wouldn't even that wouldn't even have been a thing. He would have been sacked. He would have been shook up. We probably would have won that game. Carolina game, last play of the game. You mean to tell me the last play of the game, Deron Bland's lining up off 10 yards off the ball? How many times have we seen Micah just in the game for us, time after time after time? You can almost count on it. If you say, Micah, I need you to get a sack on this play, he's going to get a sack on that play, or he going to get real. Every game that we needed him to win for us by closing it out, he did that every single time. So there wasn't a time where he did not do that. If all we had to do was get them off the field and get a sack one time, that's all he had to do. So that's just it. And that's what type of player that you need. You need this player that can, like Max Crosby, like Micah, that you can say, hey, I need you to do this, and I need you to do this, and then they can do it. You got to have that special player. And then also, we got to also remember too that the Cowboys, this is what they do. You brought in Siobhan Revelle, shouldn't have played this year. Hurt corner, should have drafted him really. You brought in, I mean, you brought in, you had Bland coming off of a surgery, was never healthy all year. Trayvon, never healthy all year. Malik Hooker, never healthy all year, played half the season. Overshawn, played half the season, wasn't healthy when he came back. Jack Sanborn was a bust from the jump. He was never good. Uh, um, Izaraku, rookie, has a good motor, but you know, we're coming off the likes of Mike Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. That's what we're used to. So that didn't work. And then you got all your backup corners. They are like literally like bottom of the barrel guys that you sign off the street. You got your guy Elam, former first round pick. He wasn't good enough to even make it through the season. He was that bad. So was Jack Sanborn. So I mean, I don't think that anybody, any defensive coordinator, yeah, it might not have looked as bad, but no defensive coordinator can go out there and win with that level of defense. We just didn't have the horses. It's just not. And it's sad to say that this is a pattern with the Cowboys. They do this year in and year out to where it's just like, how do these other teams get great players and they have role players that play great and they become stars, but we can't seem to do that? And it's just, it just goes back to the front office. So We got a lot of work to do, but like I said, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to just brush over the fact that you can change a whole defense in one off season. You can do both sides of the ball in one off season, and you can change everything with one player. And specifically, edge rusher is one of those positions where if you have a great edge rusher, it affects the entire defense, and we've seen that. So that's just my thing. We can all let's talk about who the new defensive coordinator come in. If I'm the defensive coordinator, a part of my contract it has to be you got to bring Jadeveon Clowney back. You got to give me an edge rusher in the draft. You got to give me a real middle linebacker, not Overshown and not Jack Sanborn, and not the guy that you traded for. I don't want either. I don't want none of them starting for me. I want a real linebacker. I don't care how you get them, but you got to get them. And you got to get you got to get a Pro Bowl cornerback. I don't know how you're gonna get them, but you got to get them. You got to get somebody else that can go on the other side of Bland and that can play, so that when Bland goes down, we can rely on Kalen Carson and hopefully a heavy Siobhan Revelle and the slide and all this kind of stuff. But you got to give me a Pro Bowl corner. You got to give me a Pro Bowl edge rusher. And you got to give me an edge rusher in the draft. I got to get two edge rushers. I got to get one in the draft and I got to get a Pro Bowler like Max. And my safety position needs to be a part of emphasis at some point during the season. If we're gonna bring back Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson with a new defensive coordinator, maybe they'll play their position better. That maybe they won't be out of position. But those three or four things you have to have in order for me to be your defensive coordinator. That's what you got to do. So let you take it from there.
So yeah, they got a lot of work to do. You got to totally redo the safety room. So you're gonna kick the tires on Mika Fitzpatrick. I don't think Bland. I mean not Bland, but Hooker or Donovan Wilson in another. This they won't be back. I don't think so. And then your linebacker, you got a point. You really got to redo that room as well. So one of the things we're gonna talk about during this next few weeks, we got to talk about the scouting department and Will McClay. Nobody wants to talk about them, but all bets are off. You got to look at him in the scouting department. So, yeah, I think the next coach got their work cut out for him. And I watched Desmond Bain from Miami. You don't get to see him again. I don't know what you thought about him. I'm not really sure he's an edge. He's to me, he looks more like a 4-3 end. I mean, excuse me, a 3-4 end. But if he fell to us, I would take him. I think the player that I'm thinking that we got to hope falls to us is Caleb Downs. He changes your whole defense, like what you're looking for. So I'm not sure the edge is in this draft. I like the Max Crosby idea, but I'm not giving them 2-1s. So it's a whole lot of stuff that needs to happen on this defense. And here's the thing. We've seen other teams do it in 1 year, so it can be done. Do we trust Steven and Jerry to do it? No, but we got to just kind of see how it's going to play out. But
I'm thinking that either way, you got to move up to get either one of those guys. You got to move up to get Ruben Bain, and you got to move up to get Caleb Downs. You might have to move up more to get Desmond Bain, but you're gonna have to move up to get Caleb Downs.
and I like Downs a lot better than Bain. So that edge for Texas Tech, have you checked him out? When I looked at him,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he looks to me like Donovan Izaraku. I don't know that he's somebody that where is he going on Tankathon?
A couple weeks before us.
He's going before us.
Yeah, David Bailey, Texas Tech. Yeah, he going 10 to the Bengals.
So what do you think about him?
After Ruben Bain, I'm not in love with the edges after that. Like Keldrick Falk, I'm not a fan. David Bailey, I'm really not a fan. I mean, he's a dog, and I'll be okay if we draft him, but I would rather have Caleb Downs over him, or I might try to trade back. But you're picking pretty high, so you know what I'm saying. Like the last time we picked this high, we got Micah. So I
Yeah.
would try to pick. I would try to stay and pick, and I would just I would get a player that's gonna change my team. But like I said, I'm not gonna be reaching. If anything, I would move up and try to get one of those players. But also, I'm not just straying away from picking an offensive player right here. If I gotta pick an offensive player at 12 because that's the only thing that's left, and I gotta choose between an offensive player or David Bailey or Keldrick Falk, you could get by with an offensive player, because if it's like Jeremiah Love, that changes your whole team. If it's like the best tackle in the league in the draft, that changes your team. So
Yeah. So the tackle from Alabama, I need to watch him, but Jeremiah Love, I wouldn't hate it. I think he
changes your
might if he's the best player at 12. We're gonna do this probably back and forth with content creators. I'm just taking the best player. So if the best player and I can't move down or I don't have any other options, if it's Jeremiah Love, I would absolutely take him.
Jeremiah Love, pair him with Williams. See, that's what the Cowboys do. That's something that they can't do any longer. And I also think that the Cowboys, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that Jerry and Steven are going to do something this offseason to where I think they are going to do something that they don't normally do. I'll be wrong if they don't, but it would be normal if they don't. But I think that they are going to do something. Like, first of all, I think that they're going to try to like spend some money in free agency. I think they're gonna try to like trade for some people. I think that they're gonna do everything that they can to sign Pickens. I think they're gonna do those things. And so what they can't do
Yeah.
is let somebody like Jeremiah Love be there and not re-sign Williams because of that. You gotta, if you're gonna have Jeremiah Love, you got to have Jeremiah Love and Williams. And that's how you win. That's how you blow teams out the water.
So I don't believe they're gonna do anything until I see it. I saw that they're doing a press conference tomorrow. I got a question for you. So what are they doing a press conference for? So if Shadi was doing it, I would be interested. So what do we? I'm not listening to anything from Jerry and Steven. I don't want to hear anything about what they thought about Eberflus. Uh, what what they should do, if they're gonna do a press conference tomorrow, they should get up there in front of the press and just say it was a bad hire. Other than that, we don't need to hear from them.
Did they actually
Uh,
say that they were doing a press conference to talk about Eberflus?
they have a press conference scheduled tomorrow to talk about the state of the franchise or something.
Is this,
They're calling it an end of the season press conference, which I don't know if they've done that before.
you might say this is not normal.
Yeah, so but again, we don't need to hear from Steven and Jerry. What they really should do. I'm gonna talk about this all off season. We don't need to hear from them until we're in the NFC Championship game. Other than
That's,
that, I
that's
don't need to
true.
hear from
I
you.
do want to hear what they got to say, because it's gonna be
Mm,
whatever they got to say. It's gonna be fireworks. It's like it's gonna let us know right now, like, because like I said, we gotta pay attention to Jerry when he be talking, because he be saying some stuff and he really about that life. He really say stuff and he really mean it. Like, he be like,
mm,
nah, like, everybody knew for a fact Eberflus was out of here because Jerry was acting like he was. He was talking like he was. He was talking
mm.
about that. He was just like, nah. I was surprised. I was shocked. Now that might not have been true, but the way he was talking, we was like, we ain't never heard him talk about that. Talk about somebody like that. We ain't never heard him say nothing like that. And Eberflus got fired the next day. Like, we ain't never seen a coach get fired like that before. We ain't never seen that. So it's just like, yeah, no.
So you
Sometimes,
really believe they're gonna spend in free agency?
yeah, I think the
Um,
pressure is too much, because Jerry is just like this stuff. Like I said, the stuff that he's saying, he
See, I,
like
I think he can absolutely mess up this Pickens deal.
he
I
can,
do.
but like the fact that he acknowledged the 30-year drought. Yeah,
Mm.
he acknowledged it. Steven didn't, but Jerry did.
So let me say this, and we part of the media now, new media, I guess you could say. I just don't want those guys up there talking to them tomorrow, just asking them Captain Obvious questions. It really gives them just an easy way out. If you're gonna do a press conference, at least have some journalistic questions that you can ask without losing your job if you work for the morning news or whatever the case may be. There are ways you can ask really good questions without getting your media pass canceled, and hopefully they'll do that. But typically what happens is they get in these press conferences and they pretty much just control it. They just throw out, like, a perfect example is the other day Jerry was doing an interview. And he said Mike outpriced himself because he asked for so much money this past well this summer, whatever the case was. And so the immediate response for that question to that question, response to that question should have been, "You're saying he outpriced himself, but you could have signed him 2 years ago, and it would have been 30-something million. So that's really not true." So they just get up in front of the media and they just say things, and it's like nobody calls them on it. And so,
And then also what should have been said was, but Jerry, you guys offered him $40 million, and then on top of that, he said that he would take $40 million, and then you told him no. So
yeah.
that's just what you said was just a lie. You just
So,
lied.
so you're proving my point. There's no reason to talk to them about anything. I don't need to hear what they're going to do. We'll know what they're going to
Hey,
do
what's up, B
when free
Bird?
agency starts. What's up, B Bird? Uh, Happy New Year. We're going to know what they're going to do when free agency starts. Until then, like, fam, I don't really need to hear from you. I don't need your Captain Obvious answers. I don't need your, just cliche laced and just your normal. We don't want to hear it. So you'll listen to it tomorrow, and I'll get the highlights because I'm not.
Yeah,
Man, they not getting my
so we're
attention.
gonna do our segment. We're gonna do our segment decoding Stephen and Jerry, because that's gonna be super duper funny, and everybody gonna
Mm,
watch it because
It's gonna be funny.
it's gonna be super funny because the stuff I'm gonna say that it's gonna be super funny. So we gonna
And I
have
hope I
to,
hope he don't get up there and talks about he took a risk with Shotty, and Shotty got fired in Seattle, and you know
uh
he always plays the hits.
I don't I think tomorrow what's happening is I think the PR team just straight up told them, like, listen guys, uh the fan base is livid. You guys traded Michael Parsons. um they know that you
You,
hired,
you wasted another season
you wasted another season.
of Dak's career.
Dak's career, he's like number one in every stat again. Also,
Mm.
you signed George Pickens, you know what I mean? And then also on top of that, everyone knows that you hired Eberflus, and everyone, regardless whether y'all believe it or not or like it or not, everyone is saying that that is the reason why the defense was
So
bad. So
I will be absolutely stunned if they talk about the fact that he hired Eberflus and
they're
Brian.
telling them that you got to jump ahead of this thing. You got to go. You guys got to come out here and you got to acknowledge that you messed up. You guys got to come out here and you got to acknowledge that it's been 30 years. You got to acknowledge that you're
Oh
on the
yeah.
same fan. That you got to acknowledge that you're on the same wavelength as the fans. If not, you're losing your base. You're losing your fans.
So one of the questions that I hope he's asked is, you got Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Jason Witten, Dez Romo. You could just go down a list of players. DeMarcus Ware, they've come through here. You have no NFC Championship games. So, like, what are you gonna do for your 30th year, or whatever the case may
I can,
be?
I can I can make another stat. I guarantee
Mm.
you I can make another stat. I guarantee you the Cowboys are the team with the most Hall of Famers that never got to a Super Bowl or NFC Championship team and game.
You mean some coming up like Witten and
Yeah,
Ware's already there, but that's definitely part of it. I
yeah, a
think
lot of Hall.
I
Yeah,
think Tyron is not gonna get in as quick as people think. Hey, did you know? So this year, Darren Woodson and Witten made it to the final, so they better not vote Woodson out and Witten out, which is definitely possible. But they need to get Darren Woodson in because he only got 2 years left. So shout out to Darren Wilson. But so we're not gonna be on very long. So who you got on your coaching carousel? Because I think Brian Flores. So I heard that he's looking to take a job with Brian Daboll as his coordinator offensively, and so I think he's looking at the Raiders job and the Ravens job. I'm taking the Ravens job hands down. The Raiders, that's still a job that I probably wouldn't take. It's generational money.
I think Harbaugh gonna go to the Giants or the Ravens. I mean, or the Raiders.
The Giants is definitely a possibility, and I'm okay with that. Jim is my guy. I'm not a big John fan. He's obviously he's done let me say this. We're gonna talk about this on some of our shows too. We're gonna look at the window may have closed on some of these people coming to Dallas. Like one of the questions Jerry should be asked is, how did 30 years go by and you never hired Sean Payton or John Harbaugh
Or
or
Spagnuolo.
Steve Spagnuolo? How did all of these coaches come through and put skins on the wall and you never hired any of them? Which is just stunning.
And how come you all have a pattern of coaches leaving here and winning championships the next year?
And ask them about the fact that they typically hire coaches that teams don't want. Nobody was going to hire Wade Phillips or
Nobody
Jason
was going to
Garrett
hire
as a head coach.
Shotty.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. So, but I think Brian Flores, that Ravens job is tailor made for him. So I'm saying that to say he's not coming here. It's not happening.
And then they need to ask him, like, you know how you said that Micah outpriced himself? Is it a possibility for coaches to outprice themselves too?
Oh my God!
If they're good, they cost too much. If they good,
Yeah.
they cost too much to for you to hire them here. Because that's basically
So
what you said.
yeah, you got to think of a clever way to ask him, why do you always hire coaches and you don't pay them top salaries? Which that's one of the reasons you really haven't had success, is that you just don't.
His
Do you
answer is going to
do
be
you still believe that it's coaches don't deserve to be paid? Do you have a floor? Or,
his answer is going to be because he pays Dak a lot of money.
Okay, well, if he says that, it should be 20 or 30 guys in a room that have an immediate comeback for that. So he can say whatever he wants to say, but when he does, if you've been covering a team, if you just got out of journalism school, you're going to have all of your comeback, your responses ready to go. But these guys, they go in there.
Yeah.
He would literally just say anything.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say I'll play devil's advocate on that, because this guy will say something so crazy that you will just be like, I don't have a response, because I didn't even fathom he would say something that stupid. So I don't know what to say back. I don't have a response. It's just like when he said that about David Mulugeta, about the whole, I don't know his name, and wiping the contract. We was just like, what did he just say that?
I can get anybody again, just fresh out of journalism school. As soon as he said that, did I lose you?
No, I said, how do you respond to that? I mean, like,
you respond to it easily. You just say, Jerry, did he actually say that, or did he say something that was similar to that? And just put him on the spot and make him respond. And what he's going to do, he's going to say, no, he didn't really say that, but he told me he didn't like the contract. And that's what you have to do. It's not like rocket science just to do simple journalism. But we digress. So of the coordinators that you've been hearing about, who are you liking? Because I like Jim Schwartz. I'm liking Jim Leonard. There's a couple of other guys I've been. Well, Vance Joseph is
be a head coach, but I
not
want
gonna
somebody off
be.
his staff. I want
Well, that's
somebody
Jim Leonard.
Jim Leonard. I want somebody off of Houston staff.
Yep.
I want somebody off of the Ravens staff.
Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh staff.
So there's a
the Rams
defensive line
staff.
coach. Yeah. So you got a lot of options. They need to interview 5 to 8 people.
You see what happened to Joe Witt?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And he was one of the guys that the Cowboys were looking at him before he left. And I can't remember what the story was. Either they wanted to talk to him, but they were not serious, and he just kind of picked up on it. So he went in and took the job with Dan Quinn. But one thing I want to point out to you, what's happening today, it's stunning again to see these organizations. They just not wasting any time. You got coaches being fired. Say what?
They're not pussyfooting around. They're making
Yeah,
moves.
you got coaches that are being fired that have rings, that have skins on the wall.
Hey, if Jim Harbaugh can get, I mean, if John Harbaugh can get fired, anybody can get it.
So Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. 3, 4 years later, he wasn't the coach anymore. So again, it just goes back to what we were talking about that they're going to be discussing tomorrow. You had Jason Garrett here for 10 years. You never made it to an NFC Championship game. That would be one of the questions I would ask him too. Like, what were you guys?
The Titans are interviewing Jason Garrett tomorrow.
Yeah, that's something that's been sent out by his agent or his team. I'm not. Yeah.
They can't be that dumb.
Well, they're going to interview Mike McCarthy too, and that wouldn't even be. They don't belong in the same picture.
And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had Jason Garrett here for 10 years and he went to the New York Giants and they got him out of there in like a year.
Yeah, 1 year. And so, the Titans, they're going to interview John Harbaugh too, I'm sure. So Jason Garrett, stop.
Yeah.
With social media, you're not going to be able to get away with that. When you float out Jason Garrett's name tonight, when the Titans social media gets cranked up and they start getting all those negative posts,
when they wake up in the morning and realize that they viral for the wrong reason.
Yeah, talk show host, they're 105.3 The Fan. When that get going, that's not happening.
Right. Just like tomorrow. I think they're gonna feel the wrath that they have never felt before.
After the press conference?
Mm-hmm.
They will. But so it really just depends on how it goes. It depends on.
I hope Vach is there. I you know what I'm saying.
No, Vach is. He's not. He won't be in there.
Bobby probably will.
No.
They're
not. No, those are all. They are all on the either new content creators or they're just not. They're not. It's going to be reported. He will. Yeah. So it'll be all the. Nui can be. Yes.
What about the Doomsday podcast?
Definitely on them.
Okay, so that's who I want to hear from. And then my guy, Patrick No C Walker. I want to hear.
He normally does a really good job.
I want to see. I want to hear from him.
And let's say this right here about Jerry. We're giving Jerry a lot of kudos tonight. Let's say this: when the media people do ask good questions, he's not trying to get anybody fired. So he's got Derek Eagleton, who runs his social media. They've got the break, which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So he made it very clear to Derek Eagleton, you guys are going to have this content. You just keep it real, keep it 100. Nobody's going to lose their job.
Yeah.
So Brian Broaddus did say one time Jerry pulled him aside in the hallway and told him, "Hey man, you getting after me right now." So
yeah,
he said it scared him a little bit, but he went back the next day and just went back to his usual. So I said all that to say this: shout out to Vach because he's on the break, and Vach put out a video today saying
I got
it. You got it. Yeah, I saw that.
But see, that's the thing about Vach. It's just like he's always been kind of like unapologetically himself, and he got in the door doing that, and
he's keeping it 100.
We know that the Joneses know who he is.
Yeah, and he's keeping it 100.
But what's even more better about that for Vach? Vach started where we are.
Yeah. Vach is one of the first guys I listened to. So him and Foots the King, shout out to Foots.
I used to didn't like Vach because I used to be like, man, this dude is my age and he doing what I want to do, and he know what he talking about. So it's kind of like, man, it's kind of like not what is it called? Healthy competition. But it's like this dude is my age. He doing what I want to do. He got his studio set up the way I want.
He knows his stuff. The offensive line. He's one of the Yodels of the offensive line talent.
I could talk with him for hours. And then like about 3 years ago, he went to what's the name for California for the first time. And so that was cool.
Training camp.
Yeah, he went to California for the first time. And then the year after that, he was working at Frisco in that building across from the practice field. He wasn't actually working for the Cowboys though. And then the next year he got on with the Cowboys. And then he also got on with DLLS. And then he also started the podcast with Brian Broaddus.
Yeah.
So Broadus.
And Brian Brothers confirmed Friday
Mhm.
that Eberflus was being paid by the Bears. I'm the only person that said that.
Yep. I swear, and I echoed it, and it just made
Yeah,
so much
that
sense.
was something that our show was talking about. Nobody else
Nobody
was.
else was talking about that. And
Yeah.
then Broadus really kicked the dough down for them guys too. Broadus kicked the dough down for Vach. Broadus kicked
Hmm.
the dough down for Jeff.
Oh yeah,
Vach,
love Brothers. Shout out to
yeah.
Brothers.
Broadus be keeping them. Broadus keep the young content creators alive.
And I'm gonna say this: we're gonna talk about this Cowboys scouting department right now. I'm gonna say this: I could hire you, Jeff, Kavanaugh, Brothers, and Vach. You guys could run the Cowboys scouting department,
Mm-hmm.
and you would do a better job than what they've been doing.
Well, not only would we do a better job, we probably win a championship in 3 years. But that's what I was
Yeah,
going to say about.
that's why I'm telling you. You just give me a good coach. It ain't gonna, this is not gonna take 2 or 3 years. You're not gonna. And one of the things I want to talk about as we approach draft season. So first and foremost, well, two things. I don't really want to hear about training camp. Number one,
Yeah, me neither.
let me go back. I did it in reverse order. This draft, they so far off the reservation. They just do so many goofy things. Um, it's just like I'm tired of wasting time with them and playing games with them. The way they do the draft and the way they've been doing it is so ridiculous. The picks that they make, the trades that they make. I give them credit. They made a trade for George Pickens, which was a third round pick.
Shotty did that.
And by the way, I think that's what the 49ers need an edge. The Bills need an edge. They're going to trade a third round pick for Max Crosby. The only team in the league that would get them for one or two ones is Dallas. And that's because you backed yourself into a corner. These other teams, the 49ers, they're not backed into a corner. They're going to tell you, we're going to give you a third round pick for Max Crosby. And they'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas is the only team that's going to trade a one or two. I'm not trading 2 ones for Max Crosby. I would give them Green Bay's one.
And I'll tell you one other thing too. You better get Max Crosby because if you don't, the Eagles will. And
well, if what you just said, they're gonna get Max Crosby, and they're gonna get both of your ones.
yeah, and you better do something because I'm gonna tell you another thing. Like you just said, it doesn't take 2 or 3 years to rebuild a franchise. And
No.
if the New York Giants get somebody like Harbaugh, I can tell you one thing: Scatterboo, they quarterback, they defensive line, and they defense, and Malik Neighbors, they're gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I mean
And you're gonna have the old NFC East 1990s again because when Washington come back, Washington gonna be back. And then when the Giants, they was already kind of coming on with it at the end. And then they lost their 2 best players. They lost Scatterboo for the year and they lost Malik Neighbors early in the year. So these guys are going to come back and they're going to have an off season. And then they got a lot of picks too. That's one thing we ain't talking about. They got a lot of picks.
Well, they had the number 1 pick and they won the game, which I love that. We actually moved up and they moved down. So, but yeah, the Giants,
They coming.
Yeah, in Washington, Dan Quinn, he waited all of about 24 to 48 hours to start firing coaches. So they're not gonna just sit there and be a bad team either. They're getting ready to build a new stadium.
No, they gonna come on with it, but I'm just not, I'm just not afraid. I'm not afraid of them because they are just to me, they're like a one trick pony. And then it's just like, we know Dan Quinn's tendencies. So you can build a team to beat his defense because his defense is it's a characteristic defense to him. It's unique to him. He does the hybrid players. And
but give him credit though. He didn't waste any time. They went to the NFC Championship game last year, and then on Black Monday and Black Tuesday,
it's kind of hard to give him credit because, well, I give him credit for that, but it's just kind of hard because it'd be like, okay, when he got here, we was probably like the 19th defense. Our second year, we was probably like the 10th. Then his third year, we was like the 5th. And we led the league in takeaways and turnovers. But then we was the 5th ranked defense in the league. But then we got to the playoffs in Green Bay and got straight up smacked.
Jerry will be talking about that tomorrow. He mentioned it earlier. He kind of threw Dan Quinn under the bus, but he would have hired Dan Quinn as his head coach, by the way. But yeah, he'll. That's one of the things Jerry will be talking about tomorrow. So he think he's going to get a lot of mileage on that comment. So you'll hear that tomorrow. That
Yeah,
Dan Quinn didn't win any playoffs game while he was here. That's
yeah, but he went to
yeah.
the NFC Championship game the next year. Yeah, next year he left here from over here. He went to he took his team to the NFC Championship game.
So he can't. To me, that's why the coaches that we look at. Um, so I'm kind of on the opposite ends. I'm kind of like I think we should go a new, innovative young guy like
Mm-hmm.
Jim Leonard or Brian Flores. That's a dream pick. If you're gonna go OG, Jim Schwartz is a guy that I've always wanted Jerry to hire, but he had Marinelli. Jim Schwartz won a Super Bowl with the Eagles the year that what was the backup quarterback? Um, you probably know it. I can't
What's
remember
his
his
name?
name.
Not Carson
And
Wentz, but
With Doug Peterson was the head coach.
yeah,
The
Carson.
first the first championship, no, the first ring the Eagles won a
Yeah,
Super Bowl. But
Nick
anyways,
Foles.
so Schwartz was the
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
So he was a defensive coordinator. He's always had good defenses. We struggled playing him when we had Romo.
Mm-hmm.
But so we played the Cardinals. They had Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
If Jim Schwartz is your coordinator, he probably doesn't make it through the game.
Mm-hmm.
They would have just said, "We just gonna knock. We
JJ
just gonna."
JJ McCarthy too.
So that 2016 game that Marinelli blew that nobody talks about. If
Mm-hmm.
Jim Schwartz is your defensive coordinator, that 3rd and 23 when you're just rushing for and you're in a deep zone,
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing that against
Mickey
him.
Spagnola, I gotta talk about Mickey Spagnola because he was on it today, but he was
Really?
talking about but he was talking about uh when when we had damn, what's his name that you just mentioned? Rob, when he had when we had Rob
Marinelli.
Marinelli, now our defense was one of the best units in the league. The tenure that he was here,
What?
he said that.
So
He
that's one of
said
the
he said this year right now wouldn't you all would have died for a Rob Marinelli defense this year? If they would have
mm,
had a Rob Marinelli defense this year, do you think they'd be out of the playoffs? Everybody on the
yeah.
fan was just like, "Nah, you're right about that."
Yeah, it's just amazing to hear. And so, a lot of Marinelli, so I think I forget what war he served in. So you want to give him his respect. He was a military, he's a veteran and all of that, but you can't argue that he did a good job. I just wonder what you're looking at. So the 2014 year we lost to Green Bay, the Dad's Catch game.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron Rodgers had an injured calf. He basically playing on one leg. We never touched him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just ridiculous. If that had been Jim Schwartz or Ty Bowles,
He wouldn't have
what?
made it to the game.
Yeah, it would have been difficult. He wouldn't have sit back down and made a bologna sandwich like Aaron Rodgers did the whole game. And the same thing happened in 2016. It's like I don't know what you guys. So Dallas Cowboy fans, we got a standard on everything else. I don't understand how we just cool with guys who don't win anything. I don't want to hear your stats. I don't want to hear about what you did. Like Eberflus, they kept talking about his defenses at defenses at Indianapolis. That's like a Division II school.
All you gotta do is tell them. I mean, well, listen, man. The same team that this dude has is in a 2 seed right now.
Yeah.
It's the
So
same exact team.
Rob Marinelli, you had 10 years of him and Jason Garrett. What did you get? You got nothing.
You got some of the worst
And
years of Cowboys football.
yeah, and so to me, Rob Marinelli and Dan Quinn, they don't belong in the same category. Dan Quinn was a much better coordinator than Marinelli. If Marinelli had if they first of all, Marinelli probably wouldn't even wanted Micah
No,
because
yeah,
Marinelli he looked at the pick and said, I got TJ Watt or Taco.
I'm
He
taking
picked Taco.
set us
So
back. He just set us back 5 years with that.
more than that. Then he followed that up with Tristan Hill. But
Set up
no, the 2014, I can make a strong argument that 2014 and 2016 was our best chance to make it to a Super Bowl. And both years, our defense was just okay. I can't tell you who was the edge on the 2014 team. I know one Tank was a rookie. Who was the other edge?
Gregory.
Brandon Gregory wasn't on that team.
2014.
No, he wasn't on the 2016 team either. He came after that.
DeMarcus
So
Lawrence.
so we know Tank was one of the edges. Tell me who the middle linebacker was on both of those teams. I have no idea.
Brady James.
Brady James was on the 2017. He was gone by 2014. So you're proving my point. That's the other thing about Rob Marinelli. He never wanted to take ballers. He never wanted to take, like we're talking about Caleb Downs. If Rob Marinelli was the defensive coordinator, he would tell you, you can pick somebody else. We don't need Caleb Downs. That's exactly what he would say.
No, man, they don't.
He has no interest in coaching play. He had no interest in coaching players like
Kind of like they doing Jerry doing the same thing, with the other side of the ball, and it's not really the other side of the ball. It's just in general, they don't like them type of players. They don't like them type of dogs.
We're gonna do a show on the culture of the Cowboys. That comes up a lot. You know what our culture still is? Our culture is still Jason Garrett and Rob Marinelli.
And see, and then they had to do that because you know what our culture was becoming? Our culture was becoming Michael Parsons. That's what it was becoming.
Yeah.
That's he was the face of the franchise.
So that's going to be a big talking point in the Pickens negotiation because what he's bringing as far as the culture, I'm not sure that they really want that.
Because he showed bringing it, and
Jason Garrett would have no interest in George Pickens.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that what's the name couldn't tame him and hold on to him.
Who tame who?
George Pickens.
You talking about Pittsburgh coach? I'm having a senior moment.
Mike Tomlin. Because he's that type of guy.
So here's what I'll push back on you.
That guy, the one that says, no, I'm gonna handle him.
So my pushback is that he really did do a good job with him, but the problem with that whole equation is that he never had a quarterback.
Yeah.
So if Pickens had been balling, if he had a quarterback, he catching 80 catches, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, Tomlin would have been fine with it.
Who would have thought that George Pickens would be the number one receiver on this team and is?
I don't know. I still like CD, but
we love CD, but the bottom line is,
I think we can do both. I don't think we need to have.
We don't.
One of
I'm just saying.
What I'm doing is,
would you rather throw it to?
It just depends on the situation. I still like CD. What I'm gonna do, this is another problem with Cowboy fandom. Stop doing this either or crap. Let's just go out and dominate and win games. So what I'm doing,
good players.
Yeah, if I'm the coach of the Cowboys, what I'm doing, I'm pulling up in the bus on Sunday. When I pull up to the stadium, you're gonna see George Pickens and CD all day. It ain't gonna be one or the other. You better be ready.
You might see Javonte Williams and Jeremiah Love.
That's what I'm doing. If I had an option, if I get the 12th pick and there's just really not somebody there that I really like, and Jeremiah Love is there.
If this was my team, if this was my team, you would be getting off the bus. You'd be seeing Jake Ferguson and Sam Laporta. Yeah, that's what you'd be seeing.
Or Dalton Kincaid.
So
they blew it.
They blew it like they normally do. So we got to talk about that because
that's a scouting department. That's not on Jerry.
And then with me, I would trade up and get Caleb Downs if I have to because I know that he's going to change.
Here's your problem. So if you trade up, problem is you don't have a 2 or a 3. So unless you want to trade your other one.
Yeah, that's what you do. You just that's what you do. I mean, why not?
I would trade both
next year.
Caleb Downs, but
worry about it next year. He's worth that. I mean,
he might fall to you.
Oh, let me tell you this too, and don't be so sure that Jerry and them non-exclusively tag Pickens. And if they non-exclusively tag Pickens, whatever team signs him, they get two first. The Cowboys will
Yeah.
receive two first-round picks for him. So don't be surprised if we end up with four first-round picks this year.
No. So it's not going that I don't think that's going to happen. So
I hope
my pushback to you on that is if you saying they moving in a new direction, they just get pick and sign. It's like there's no reason for them to do this.
he just said yesterday, a couple days ago, that Micah outpriced himself and was
Yeah.
asking for too much, and they would rather have three or four players than that one player. I don't know
So
why he wouldn't say the exact same thing about Pickens.
yeah, I can't do Jerry listening to what he says. I can't do it, man.
He
So
be good.
he could come out tomorrow and just whatever he says, I'm just like, fam, I'm gonna see you when uh free agency starts, day one, day two. I'm gonna know what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
The
We go. I
draft,
want to see what I want. I just want to know what can y'all possibly say. This has got to be like mental gymnastics. What is he
yeah.
gonna say next? What is he gonna say tomorrow?
Well, you're gonna find out, and you'll just let me know what happens, so we can go ahead and wrap, so
Yeah,
we
I'm gonna
can
go.
get
We gonna
down
keep
and
holding
well,
Jerry.
yeah, it's a pretty good show. So you can we can get this out there and so I'm gonna do something with B Bird and Big Time Show. We're trying to get it hooked up so we can come back and talk some more about Eberflus and this defensive coordinator list. I think it's some good candidates out there. They need to interview about 5 to 8 people.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
just
have
see,
you heard about them interviewing anybody?
huh?
Have we heard about them interviewing anybody?
We haven't, not yet. But a couple of guys like Bobby Belt and John Machota, they have a couple of names that they hearing from inside the organization. Jim Leonard is one, and
White
then there's a female reporter. Her name escapes me at the moment. She's
Jane,
pretty solid. No, it's not Jane. Is it Diana Rossini?
Anna Rossini, yeah.
It might be. She said that she's hearing that they like Flores, but I just think that he's gonna be a head coach. Yeah.
And then another thing, that's what I was gonna say before we wrap up. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Anything that you do is gonna cost a lot of money.
Oh, well, yeah,
So
and I won't believe it until they actually do it.
yeah. So no matter what, if you want to sign these players, it's gonna cost a lot of money. You have to pay George Pickens like he deserves to be paid. If you want to sign if you want a good defensive coordinator, you gonna have to pay for one. You ain't gonna be able to lowball these guys. And if you get a real good defensive coordinator like Brian Flores and you pay him, you're gonna have to up Shoddy pay too. So
Yeah,
you're
they're
gonna
gonna
have
have
to pay.
to up Shadi's pay. They're gonna have to up Clayton Adams' pay. So
Yep, you're gonna have to
they
pay
can,
these guys.
yeah. So they have backed themselves into a corner in so many areas, and it may just be, you heard the phrase "shoot your way out."
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they may have to do is just pay their way out. We're
Because
gonna find
it
out.
seemed like it was that's what they was doing at the deadline, trying to get Quentin Williams and doing all of
Yeah.
this. It's just like they ain't got nothing else but to do this. They can't do
So
nothing else.
phrase "pony up" is that what they say?
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna have to do to
Well,
get out of this deal.
your bootstraps and just start swinging.
Yeah, and they got the money. There's no salary cap on coaches.
Right. They got the
Uh,
money.
yeah,
I do one better. They
we
got the money.
think they had the money.
Look, they got the money in the salary cap.
Well, we think they do. We've talked about it a couple times. They may not have as much money as we think, but
They
we
can
finna
put
find out. Look,
some switches.
it's finna all hit the fan, and
Mhm.
it's gonna hit the fan.
And
I'm
the
talking
chickens are
about
still coming home to roost.
yeah. So it's put up a shut up time for them. I don't want to hear nothing about training camp. I'm sorry. Kyrie Elam was he was like a all pro in training camp. Who else? These you know
Jackson.
underwear Olympics. I don't. There is no reason for anybody to go to training camp.
Listen, the best players on this team didn't even go to training camp. Jadavion Clowney didn't even go.
Yeah,
Javonte Williams didn't even play in training camp like that.
so
'Cause
we
he
got a
he happy.
lot to talk about, a long time to cover. So we'll do that. Let's go ahead and wrap.
Yeah, y'all make sure
And
y'all
we'll
like
catch you.
and
Yeah,
subscribe and y'all follow us on every outlet: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We everywhere. Instagram, we got it all. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to our supporters. Y'all can hit the Cash App if y'all want to support. It's Cash App. It's a $ITUW.
yeah. No, go ahead.
And yeah, that's it on that one. We're gonna probably come back in a couple days, and we got a lot to talk about. It's the ongoing saga; it never ends.
Yep, we're gonna cover it. All right, have a good one.
All right, peace.